Everyone, this is the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners meeting being held virtually. It is Monday, January 11th, 2021, and it is 3:00 p.m. in the afternoon. First item is to call the meeting to order, which I have done. We've done a sound check, and we have all three commissioners present, which does constitute a quorum. Next item on our agenda is a resolution recognizing or addressing human trafficking and recognizing Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And I believe we have several presenters, and I will ask Commissioner Hall, to read the resolution, and then happy to hear comments from the presenters.
Thank you, Chair Hunt. In the matter of proclaiming January 2021 to be Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Lincoln County. Whereas human trafficking is the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining of a person for labor or services through the use of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of forced labor or sexual servitude. And whereas human trafficking disproportionately impacts those most marginalized in our community, anyone can become a victim of human trafficking. And whereas human trafficking is a public health and civil rights crisis occurring at epidemic levels all over the world, its victims and survivors are everywhere, including communities throughout Lincoln County. And whereas human trafficking goes against basic human rights, and there is a vital need to eradicate this crime, whereas law enforcement, federal and state agencies, nonprofit social service providers, private industry, and non-governmental organizations, including the Children's Advocacy Center, My Sister's Place, and the Let's Care program, are working to combat human trafficking in Lincoln County through partnerships like with the Human Trafficking Task Force of Lincoln County. And whereas Human Trafficking Task Force of Lincoln County, along with their partners, continue to educate the public on violence and exploitation in ways that honor those impacted by this crime. And now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners proclaims January 2021 to be Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Lincoln County, Oregon, and encourage all citizens to work together with these invaluable community agencies to raise awareness and help combat modern day slavery and exploitation. And that is the proclamation, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall. I believe we have two presenters, Lizzie Martinez with the Human Trafficking Advocate and a coordinator, and Paul Schrader with the Children's Advocacy Center Director and a coordinator. Welcome.
Thank you, and hello everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Lizzie Martinez. I am the coordinator of the Human Trafficking Task Force and also advocate at the Children's Advocacy Center. Today, joining us, we have Paul Schrader. He is the executive director of the Children's Advocacy Center and the chair of our task force, as well as Amber Wishoff, executive director of My Sister's Place and a valued member of our task force as well. Paul brought us together along with other community partners in March of 2019 to start combating this issue in our county. So I invite you all to participate in human trafficking awareness events with us this month. And today just so happens to be National Human Trafficking Awareness Day as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. Excuse me. I would like to take a minute to recognize all the partners you see on the screen. This is our membership for our task force. These partners have been very dedicated in supporting human trafficking survivors in our community, as well as the development of our task force. Not only have they strived to provide the most trauma-informed care for survivors in our community, but they have also put a lot of time and energy into the collaboration and some of the behind-the-scenes development of the task force, which can involve protocols and procedures and some really time-consuming things. So I really appreciate the time they've taken over the past year and a half to develop this task force with us. Along with these partners, next slide, please. We agreed on the following mission. So the Lincoln County Human Trafficking Task Force is a multidisciplinary collaboration of community partners working in a victim-centered manner to prevent, detect, and disrupt human trafficking. We do this through coordinated comprehensive services and effective investigation and prosecution. So what this really breaks down to is a three-pronged approach that we have. That includes investigation, victim services, and then education and outreach. And I'll just spend a few moments expanding on what we're doing this month for each of those areas. So for investigation, we have distributed 140 key indicator cards. I'm holding this up in my camera. I don't have a picture in the slides, but what this is a laminated card that we distribute to law enforcement professionals, and it has 10 questions. These are developed by national human trafficking organizations. 10 questions that lead to the key indicators of human trafficking. And it also starts the referral process from frontline professionals to identify those survivors or people who are presenting with the key indicators, and then refer those people, or those cases rather, to our task force. So our hope with this is increasing awareness among law enforcement professionals, and also to increase the referrals to our task force so we can better serve those people. Next slide, please. For education and outreach, and I know some of you who are on this meeting have already registered for this training. Thank you for that. We are providing a human trafficking 101 training that's open to all community members. That is this Thursday, January 14th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This is going to be a training about the key indicators and how you can help in our community. The really awesome thing about this training is that it is provided by people who are doing the work in our state. This is Amanda Swanson and Letitia Wilson. They are with the Department of Justice, and they run the Trafficking Response and Intervention Program and coordinate our county level task force. So they work in rural communities and really understand some of the challenges we face in our community, and are providing a really comprehensive training for our community members this Thursday. You can find more information and the registration link on our Facebook, and it has been sent out among many community professionals. You can reach out to myself if you would like to get more information about that, or if you have any issues on the Children's Advocacy Center Facebook, signing up for that. Next slide, please. And for victim services, which I'm incredibly passionate about, being an advocate, we are hosting a clothing drive for survivors. And just to give you a little bit of background about how this will help survivors in our community, is that this is really aimed toward our sexual assault response team. So when victims seek medical attention and rape kits are performed, those adults, children, and seniors are asked to surrender their clothing in this situation. And that's usually for DNA evidence. And once that clothing has been surrendered, they often do not have anything to wear home other than a hospital gown or scrubs that are provided in that situation. So to return some dignity back to our survivors and provide support in a really meaningful way, we would like to provide clothing for these situations, and new clothing. Ideally, it's something that's really comfortable, that somebody can be cozy in a moment of trauma in an already difficult situation, and go home more comfortable. So that clothing drive is being hosted through the entire month of January. We have 2 drop locations. The one is Newport Chamber of Commerce, and the other is MSP, My Sister's Place or My Safe Place. They have different hours that you can see here. This is also up on our Facebook page, but they are mainly Monday through Friday. And I invite you to provide some clothing to the survivors in our community, and hopefully raise awareness on the topic as well. So that wraps up some of our main events. We are also hosting a social media campaign, awareness content for the entire month of January surrounding human trafficking. And so I'd like you to follow our Facebook if you can, and also My Sister's Place is posting some content as well. So thank you guys for having us today and recognizing Human Trafficking Awareness Month and Day for today.
All right, thank you, Lizzie. Does Director Schrader wish to add anything, or anyone else in your group? All right, questions from commissioners?
It looks
Go
like
ahead.
Amber would like to add something. Thank you.
Sure, go ahead, Amber.
Thank you. I was just going to say I'm putting the link for that training that Lizzie mentioned on Thursday in the Dropbox or in the chat box. We're just really excited about this opportunity, and I have to toot Lizzie's horn a little bit on her behalf. She has worked really hard on getting this awareness campaign rolling out along with the rest of the task force, but she's really headed the charge on this, and we had a cap of 75 people that we were going to put on the training, and last week that broke, and so we have opened that back up to a bigger number. I think 150 is where we're looking at. So it's exciting to hear that, because that tells me that there's people who are thirsty for this knowledge, and there's a lot of different moving parts that are developing in our community to support this effort. And so it just feels like it's a prime time to spread accurate information with a solid plan of how not only is this information for the community, but we have plans moving forward on how to develop that our action plan even further. And that really starts with awareness and getting real information out there. So we really hope that you guys can join us, and let's hit that 150 mark, at 150 people knowing more about this issue that is happening, not somewhere else. It's here, it's in our backyard, we're driving by it every day. And the more that people know, the better we can be informed as a community of how to support and lift people up who are our neighbors. So thanks for this opportunity here to talk about it, and we look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
Okay. Thank you, Amber. Questions or comments? Commissioner Hall?
No questions really. Just want to applaud the very good and truly important work that's being done here, and congratulate you for negotiating the extra challenges that are involved in educational outreach and activities in a time of pandemic. So thanks to everybody for their good work.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Jacobson?
Well, first off, I want to say thank you for opening up your training to more people, because it allowed me to actually get in to take it. So thank you for that. And just another reminder from what you just said here in your last two words, that, you know, this is happening in our community. I think this is one of those issues that has a tendency for the public to think that, oh, that's in bigger cities, oh, that's in other countries, oh, that's in other places, but it's not in other places. I mean, it is in other places, but it's here. We have had cases being tried for human trafficking here. We have had situations happening here with kids from this community and adults as well. So it is here. I'm really glad to hear that so many people are interested in getting educated, because I do think it does sort of take a community response to try to deal with this. So thank you for your efforts in getting the training going and the recognition as well.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. I've got some questions. I'm a Rotarian, and I know this has been I guess a project of Rotary. Are they involved, or what? Is there any association there? I'll direct it to Lizzie, I guess.
We have not partnered with Rotary at this time. I know that they, as an organization, are really passionate about this topic, and we are looking forward to growing that partnership in the future, but we don't have anything established at this time.
Okay. And this may be kind of a difficult question, but what are some of the signs or indications that somebody on the street might, or that would be helpful to somebody on the street to recognize a possible human trafficking situation? And I recognize you do a long training, but are there some just quick key indicators that might help the public be aware?
Yeah, again, it is a difficult topic to give a short explanation on as far as key indicators go, but there have been educational materials released that are the key indicators. Let me pull them up and I can go through them. A few things that are considered key indicators, or rather red flags, are things like secret social media accounts, attire that has changed and it's like suddenly become like higher end, more expensive. For those at-risk teenagers running away from home, or communicating with older adults who they consider intimate partners on the internet. Sometimes it's associated with gang activity, obviously sending and receiving pornographic materials, sex industry specific language. For the medical professionals, for women and men who present with reoccurring STIs or UTIs. Signs of physical abuse, although there isn't always physical abuse, we know that the control tactics go far beyond that into mental abuse as well, and submissiveness or fearfulness. So when we give these key indicators to the frontline professionals, we are always very careful to use a disclaimer that these can be indicators. We do look for more than one of these indicators in a case before we refer somebody to a human trafficking intervention specialist, just because they are very subtle and human trafficking isn't a crime that you can always see happening, but these are good signs that we should look deeper into the situation. And again, on our training on Thursday, we can go further into that. But if you don't have a chance to join on Thursday, I would recommend looking at the Polaris project. They discuss a lot of the key indicators and also can talk about community involvement in terms of what to do when you are concerned that somebody may be involved in human trafficking. Amber, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes. So I love your question, and I love because it's just a further platform that people are wanting to know how to help. And the challenge with only having a few minutes, because I know you have a lot on your docket today, is that a little information can go a long way to helping, but sometimes it can go a long way to not being so helpful. So what I would encourage you all is, again, please come to the training, and we're gonna have lots of other materials and information in the next few months rolling out. But if you have questions, and if something you see something and it just doesn't sit right as you observe it in the community, or maybe about people that you come across in your daily life, please call us. And we, not as a way of like, you're calling us to report something, because that's not what we do, but call because we are here to support survivors just as much as we're here to support education in our community. So if something pops up and you are not sure how to handle it or you want more information, you can call CAC, you can call MSP. We are here to support you, give you information and resources specific to the information that you're seeing, and we are here to support both the people experiencing trafficking as well as the people in our community. And that's really how it's gonna have to roll out. We are here to help any forward movement. So please pick up the phone, follow your intuition. If you're seeing something that doesn't sit right in your gut, there's probably a reason for that. And just as multifaceted as trauma can be and how complicated we get to a place where people are in trauma, just as multifaceted is the way that people are experiencing that trauma. Trafficking looks different for every single person it happens to. Trafficking, and domestic violence and sexual assault and stalking, all of these things have unique, complex pieces to it and moving parts, just as much as there's a lot of uniform things. That's how we get key indicator cards, is because a lot of things are happening. So it's the short and the long of it is we're here, and please reach out, because this isn't something that you can pick up in a 10-minute presentation. So let us know how we can help.
All right. No, I think that's an excellent point. If you have questions or concerns, pick up the phone and call, or go to the web and look at the information that's available there. So sadly, this is an issue, as I believe Commissioner Jacobson said, we deal with in our county. And as the proclamation points out, it certainly has a tragic impact on some of the most vulnerable individuals in our county and in our communities. So keep up the good work and great information. If there are no other comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
Mr.
So
Chair,
I do have,
Go
I
ahead.
have one quick comment, which is looking at your task force numbers. There's one member that seems to be absent on there, which is as the largest kind of health provider in the county. Samaritan seems like they would be a partner that would need to be involved. I don't know if you've reached out to them and they just haven't had staff available or what have you, but it seems like they might be a good partner on that task force.
I agree. That is definitely a partnership that is a goal for the task force. And, we all have so many things going on that we haven't been able to solidify that, but that is, hopefully on the horizon.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
There's
Thank
nothing
you all
else.
for having us today.
Thank you. And we appreciate the good work. So I'll be happy to entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move we approve Resolution 21-11-1A, Human Trafficking Awareness Month.
And I will second that motion.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Thank you, ladies, and have a good day. I'll move on. Next would be the adoption of the consent calendar. These are items of a routine nature or items that have come before the Board of Commissioners previously. If there's an item staff or commissioners wish to highlight, you may do so now, or otherwise I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I will make a motion that we adopt the consent calendar as presented.
I'll second the motion.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
And as Commissioner Jacobson pointed out, we've adopted the consent calendar. All right, moving along, the next item on the agenda would be reports. And we have Echo Mountain Complex update. And I believe we have Paul Seitz from our solid waste department and Anna Henson from the Oregon Department of Transportation. So I'll let you two decide who wants to go first, and then Council Belmont may have some additional comments.
Excellent. I'll just jump in, Anna, if you don't mind. So I'll just give you a quick update. ODOT, Anna is here, will be out on scene very soon. Actually, they have people out right now. I was up in the area today. I saw a number of signs they're posting up on people's properties. They're preparing for the cleanup effort right now for everyone who has an ROE. And it looks like it's very successful and going strong. We'll have boots on the ground here probably about the 18th, and I'll let Anna take it from there as to what they're doing at that point.
Thank you, Paul. And thanks for having us here today. Can everybody hear me okay? Because I had to call in. Okay. So I just, I'm kind of winging this. So I want you all to ask me questions if I haven't clearly given you the information you're looking for. So ODOT has secured a contract with K&E Excavating to do the ash and debris cleanup work for the Echo Mountain fire. For our, and I guess I should introduce myself a little bit better. I'm the operations chief for the north half of the state. So I'm handling Marion, Lincoln, Lane, Lynn, and Clackamas County areas for all the hazard debris cleanup as well as hazard tree cleanup as well as ash and debris. Most of our other fire areas that I'm working on have two contractors. They've got ash and debris contractor, which is the structural debris work, and then a hazard tree contract. For Echo Mountain, we're only doing ash and debris, and I say that because there wasn't enough hazard trees identified to warrant an extra contract. So what we'll do is when we run into hazard trees for the Echo Mountain fire area, we'll do a change order with K&E to do that work. So I want you to all be comforted to know that that's happening. So K&E, so let me just explain our structure a little bit. We have hired a monitoring consultant, and those folks are CDR McGuire, and they're the ones that basically are going to keep our contractors' records for FEMA reimbursability. It is a really long, arduous process, and ODOT just didn't have the knowledge. You know, we've never done this before, or the manpower to do that. So we've brought in this CDR McGuire is out of Florida, and they are a disaster, lots of experience in disaster relief. So they're helping us out. As you know, AC Disaster is also helping us out with the rights of entry, helping the county out with that, as well as getting the property owner questionnaires filled out. Those property owner questionnaires are very important because they're going to inform our K&E Excavating, our contractors, about the specifics of each site. So if you have folks in your area that haven't completed those questionnaires, or you're talking to somebody and they're like, why do I need to do this questionnaire? It's really important that we get that information. This question is like, you know, where's your septic system? Or, you know, where's your septic tank? We don't want to crush it, you know. And I will just say too that Paul is supplying us with some of that county information. This property owner questionnaire really gives us a chance to find out, you know, what the property owners are concerned about, mainly with their property, and kind of opens those communications. So what you will see going out there, and Lincoln County's been great about getting us priority sites, and that's where we're going to start our work. And we have installed address signs, or starting to install address signs in the area. And that's going to help the folks that are doing asbestos surveys and environmental clearances to go out and identify that they're on the right site, that we have a right of entry for that property,